the World Cup champions of 1999.
What a victory for the Sri Lankans. A fantastic
Pakistan win the World Cup. A magnificent performance.
Here's the man who's been largely responsible for us over the last.
The first World Cup. That is Australia's joy. And England.
Welcome to another episode of Match Point by Dr. Adnan, and today we are here at the grand opening of Phat Sportsplex. Don't worry, Dr. Adnan will be with me in a few moments. The seat is empty right now, but he is there in the press conference room with the cricket legend. So stay tuned to Match Point. We'll be right back. अब हम आपको लेकर चलते हैं यहाँ पे फैट स्पोर्ट्सप्लेक्स के ब्रांड एम्बेसडर की जानिब और इनसे हमारी क्या बातचीत हुई. लेट्स सी. Hi, how are you, Mr. Raza? How's everything?
I'm very good, thank you. How about you?
Fine, thank you. First of all, congratulations about this event and Phat Sportsplex, and you are the brand ambassador for this, right? First of all, introduce yourself to our viewers for us that what are you going to do in this Sportsplex?
Absolutely. So my name is Raza Rahman. I'm the brand ambassador for the Phat Sportsplex. My role really is to bring as much traffic and awareness around this brand new facility in the GTA. It's a really innovative new facility, not only for cricket but a couple other sports which we'll dive into. But my role is just to get as much people to be aware of the facility, come check it out, see what it looks like, and hopefully get as much traffic as possible.
That's awesome. So as you told right now that you're going to do like other sports rather than cricket as well. So what other sports?
Yeah, so one of the key features of the facility is that it's 12,000 square feet. So we are able to run indoor soccer as well as bubble soccer for entertainment. We have a meeting room for corporate meetings, birthdays, events. We have a virtual reality gaming arcade here as well. If folks want to come just lounge around and just play some virtual reality games. So the important thing is that we have the space so we could really do anything and everything our customers are looking for.
Oh wow, that's great. So what are the other facilities you're going to give?
So as mentioned, the corporate room, the meeting room is there as well. So, if businesses around the area or anywhere really, or, if you have kids, you want to come out for a birthday. So we have the meeting rooms for all that. And then we have the nets, which could be multi-purpose if the kids want to run soccer, if they want to run cricket, or if they just want to throw a ball around and chase it, whatever they really want to do, we have the space and we can accommodate.
Perfect. So what are the business hours? Because our viewers want to know the business hours, that's especially in the summers.
Yeah, so obviously those are a couple things that we're working around, but I think to start we're looking at around maybe 4 p.m. till midnight. But if we have our customers are interested in using our facility, our job is to accommodate them and make them, give them what they're looking for.
Depends on them.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and I hope that Sportsplex will flourish as soon as possible, and wish you all the best.
I really appreciate it, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. मेरे साथ इस वक्त फैट स्पोर्ट्सप्लेक्स के वन ऑफ द एग्जीक्यूटिव मेरे साथ इस वक्त मौजूद हैं मिस्टर अता जी. अस्सलाम वालेकुम मिस्टर अता, कैसे हैं आप? जी, आप से सबसे पहले तो मुझे ये बताएं कि सबसे पहले तो आपको बहुत मुबारक हो इसके ग्रैंड ओपनिंग की. इस जो भी है स्पोर्ट्सप्लेक्स आपने यहाँ पे ओपन किया, तो सबसे पहले ये बताएं कि आपने वॉन को क्यों सेलेक्ट किया? ना व्हाई नॉट इन ब्रैम्पटन और मिसिसागा?
इस तरह से है कि पहले एज अ प्लेयर मैं खुद भी और बाकी भी टीम मेंबर जो थे वो हम दूसरे इलाकों में खेलने जाते थे, लेकिन हमने देखा है कि इस वॉन के इलाके में भी कई ज़्यादा लड़के ऐसे हैं जो कि खेलना चाहते हैं लेकिन उनको ट्रैवल करना पड़ता है, राइट. सो हमने ये काफ़ी रिसर्च के बाद ये एक जगह चूज़ की है जो कि हमें लगा है कि इसमें पोटेंशियल है, और आई होप फॉर द बेस्ट inshallah, like we'll get a lot of bookings, inshallah, as even we're getting pre-bookings too, because this area is perfect area for those who want to play cricket but they don't have any space to play for that or practice for that.
Perfect. तो आप बताएंगे कि फैसिलिटीज़ क्या क्या प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं यहाँ पर क्रिकेट के अलावा?
बेसिकली जिस तरह से बाकी जो फैसिलिटी इस टाइम कनाडा में है, इस तरह की अभी तक कोई भी फैसिलिटी नहीं आई. दिस इज़ द वन ऑफ टॉपेस्ट फैसिलिटी राइट नाउ इन होल कनाडा, आई कैन से. जिस तरह से अब वाइड आपको पिच दी गई है कि आप उस पर खेलें, प्रैक्टिस करें अपनी, और उसके अलावा बड़ा क्लीन एनवायरनमेंट है. आप घुटन फील नहीं करते कि हम इवन कि मैं खुद भी अगर पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करूँ आपसे, तो मैं एक फैसिलिटी में जाता था तो वहाँ पे आपको बड़ा कंजस्टेड सा फील होता है कि आप खेल रहे हैं, आप खेलने आए हैं, आप इजी फील करने आए हैं, राइट. तो यहाँ पे इवन के हमारे जो CEO हैं उन्होंने ये भी कहा है कि हम 4K कैमरास जो हैं वो आपको देंगे, जिससे आप अपनी वीडियोस को खुद देख सकते हैं, अपने एक्शंस को दोबारा देख सकते हैं कि आप किस तरह खेलते हैं, किस तरह बॉलिंग करवाते हैं. और उसके अलावा हमारे पास बोला कि टॉपेस्ट मशीन अवेलेबल है, क्योंकि आप देख सकती हैं आपके सामने ये मशीन्स अवेलेबल हैं और इंतहाई रीज़नेबल प्राइसेस पे वो इसको दे रहे हैं ताकि हर बंदा अफोर्ड कर सके और आके अपनी क्रिकेट को सही डायरेक्शन में लेके जा सके.
परफेक्ट, दैट्स ग्रेट. मैं देख रही हूँ कि नेट्स यहाँ पे काफ़ी मौजूद हैं, तो कितने टोटल नेट्स कितने हैं यहाँ?
वी आर ऑफरिंग राइट नाउ 5 टोटल नेट्स, राइट. और उसके अलावा जो है आप जो हैं ये देख सकती हैं कि हमने सिस्टम को ऐसे डिज़ाइन किया है कि अगर फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल कोई यहाँ पे सॉकर बॉल या बबल सॉकर जो है वो खेलना चाहता है, तो हमने आइडिया जो दिया है वो कोर्ट रेंट का दिया है ताकि वो फ्लेक्सिबल हो डिफरेंट गेम्स के लिए. इसी तरह आपने मीटिंग रूम भी देखा होगा कि जिस तरह से कई लोगों के पास जगह नहीं होती, उन्होंने मीटिंग करनी है, ऑफिशियल मीटिंग्स हैं, बर्थडे पार्टीज़ हैं, इस तरह की चीज़ें हैं, तो वो ये रेंट कर सकते हैं आवरली बेसिस पे, और उसके बाद उसको वो इस जगह को यूज़ करके अपने जो भी प्रोग्राम है उसको सक्सेसफुल बना सकते हैं.
वेरी नाइस. मुझे बड़ा अच्छा कॉन्सेप्ट लगा जो आप लोगों ने कॉन्सेप्ट दिया. यहाँ बर्थडे पार्टीज़ भी हो सकती हैं. हम अपने व्यूअर्स को बताना चाह रहे हैं कि बर्थडे पार्टीज़ भी बच्चों की यहाँ पे सेलिब्रेट हो सकती हैं. इनके पास एक इंतज़ाम मौजूद है इसका. और इसके अलावा भी बर्थडे पार्टीज़ के अलावा भी अगर कोई बच्चे हो, बच्चों का क्या फ़न हो सकता है यहाँ?
बच्चों का ये फ़न हो सकता है कि हमने वही मैंने आपको बताया कि ये फ्लेक्सिबल एक फैसिलिटी है कि जिसमें आप बाउंड नहीं है कि इसमें क्रिकेट ही होनी है. जब आप आते हैं, आप कोर्ट रन करते हैं, नेट्स आपके मूवेबल हैं, वो मूव हो जाते हैं. आप बच्चों को लाके एक सॉकर फील्ड बन सकती है यहाँ पे. और फिर अगर टेबल टेनिस के लिए बेसिकली कॉन्सेप्ट है कोर्ट बुकिंग का. आप कोर्ट जगह बुक करते हैं, उस पर आप टेबल टेनिस खेल लें या आप उस पर सॉकर खेल लें बच्चों की. तो इस तरह की है. इवन के आगे प्लान है कि इंशाल्लाह गेमिंग भी जो है वो भी लाई जाएँ, ताकि जो बच्चे छोटे हैं और वो सोचते हैं कि हम कहीं बाहर जाएँ एक्टिविटी के लिए, तो हम उनको भी वेरी सून ये जगह प्रोवाइड करेंगे इन फ्यूचर. तो राइट नाउ तो आपके सामने है जो भी है, और मैं उम्मीद करता हूँ कि आपको भी ये जगह पसंद आई होगी कि प्रॉपर लाइटिंग देखें. जो मेन चीज़ है लाइटिंग, राइट. व्हेन अ प्लेयर इज प्लेइंग, इफ़ ही कांट सी प्रॉपरली बॉल, ही कांट प्ले, राइट.
थैंक यू सो मच. लाइटिंग्स बहुत शानदार है, नो डाउट. और जो भी बच्चे यहाँ पर, जैसे स्पेशली हमारा कनाडा का वेदर बहुत हार्श होता है विंटर्स में, बाहर नहीं निकल सकते, तो उनके लिए जगह मैं समझती हूँ कि वन ऑफ द बेस्ट परफेक्ट प्लेस है. ना सिर्फ कुछ बच्चों को हमारे इंटरेस्ट नहीं होता क्रिकेट में, कुछ को सॉकर में इंटरेस्ट है, किसी और स्पोर्ट्स में इंटरेस्ट है, तो वो यहाँ आ सकते हैं फैट स्पोर्ट्सप्लेक्स में. और फिर यहाँ पर जो है whatever they want to play they can play.
वो चीज़ गुड ऐड करना चाहूँगा कि आप मेरे बैग को देख सकती हैं, नॉकिंग मशीन हमने प्रॉपरली रखी है कि जो भी काम इस फैसिलिटी में होगा प्रॉपरली फंक्शन के तहत होगा. कि अगर बैट की नॉकिंग आपने परफेक्ट तरीके से करवानी है तो वो मशीन प्रॉपरली इसकी नॉकिंग भी करेगी.
Wow, that's amazing, that's great. Thank you so much for giving us time. Thank you so much. मिस्टर अता से पूछते हैं हम कि कौन कौन सी एसेसरीज यहाँ पर हैं, किस तरह के ब्रांड्स इनके पास मौजूद हैं यहाँ पर?
जी बेसिकली हम जो फोकस है इस टाइम क्वालिटी प्रोडक्ट पे हमारा मेन फोकस है. और हमारे पास MB की एक एक्सक्लूसिव कलेक्शन आप देख सकती हैं कि डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ पैड्स भी अवेलेबल हैं. उसके बाद GM की एक प्रॉपर आप ये देखेंगे GM के बेहतरीन से बेहतरीन बैट भी इस टाइम फैट स्पोर्ट्सप्लेक्स के ऊपर अवेलेबल हैं, ठीक है। उसके अलावा आपके थाई गार्ड्स हैं, फिर पैड हैं, ग्लव्स हैं, तो उसके अलावा पैक्स भी मौजूद हैं किट के लिए। तो उसके अलावा यानी कि जो भी हमारे पास चीज़ मौजूद है फैट स्पोर्ट्सप्लेक्स के ऊपर क्वालिटी प्रोडक्ट है, क्योंकि हमने जब इसको शुरू करना था तो हमारा मेन फोकस क्वालिटी था कि हम क्वालिटी पे कॉम्प्रोमाइज़ नहीं कर सकते। जब हम क्वालिटी देंगे तो कस्टमर सेटिस्फाई होगा, और जब कस्टमर सेटिस्फाई होगा तो हमारे सक्सेस है बेसिकली।
तो इसके अलावा बॉल्स वगैरह यहाँ पर मुझे नज़र नहीं आ रही जी।
दिखा सकता हूँ, बॉल भी है, इसके अलावा हमारे पास टेप बॉल के बैट्स वगैरह भी हैं और बॉल्स भी हैं। मैं आपको ये दिखा सकता हूँ कि आप अगर मेरे साथ आए यहाँ पे हार्ड बॉल्स वगैरह, प्रैक्टिस बॉल्स वगैरह सब मौजूद है, इवन के टेप बॉल भी मौजूद है।
आपने पिंक बॉल भी रखी है।
हाँ जी, मैं आपको दिखा सकता हूँ। ओके, अगर आप बॉल भी देखें तो क्वालिटी आपको बॉल की नज़र आएगी अगर आप देखें तो। और इवन के फैट स्पोर्ट्सप्लेक्स की बॉल आप देख सकते हैं कि हमारी अपनी यानी कि बनवाई हुई, ऑर्डर पे बनवाई हुई है। इस तरह नहीं है कि मार्केट में पहले से अवेलेबल बॉल्स को हमने ले लिया हो और हमने कहा कि इससे हम अपना बिज़नेस शुरू करें। हमने प्रॉपर हर चीज़ को कस्टमाइज तरीके से और क्वालिटी के साथ देने की कोशिश की है। इवन कि जो मैंने मशीन्स का जिक्र किया है, बॉलर की मशीन जो भी यहाँ पे फैट स्पोर्ट्सप्लेक्स के ऊपर अवेलेबल है, वो भी नॉर्थ अमेरिका की पहली मशीन है जो कि फैट स्पोर्ट्सप्लेक्स ऑन करता है इस टाइम। तो मेरे ख्याल से ये एक बिग अपॉर्चुनिटी है फॉर दोज हु वांट टू प्ले क्रिकेट एंड जो भी अपनी स्किल्स को पॉलिश करना चाहते हैं वो फैट स्पोर्ट्सप्लेक्स पे आएँ और एंजॉय करें क्रिकेट को।
थैंक यू सो मच सर, थैंक यू सो मच।
G'day.
First of all, nice to see you.
Thank you.
Glenn, you were the part of the MRF Foundation back in India since the start of the 1987. Dennis Lilly was there, and then 2012 you took the reins.
Yeah.
And having plenty of bowlers, we have seen Irfan Pathan, Shamil, and lot of the bowlers, and even the Sri Lankans we have seen, the Hoss and the other one. Do you think that MRF can be the success formula of the Indian pace batting, which was never up to the par at certain levels of cricket in the 80s and 90s? We have seen the Pakistani pacemen and the Australian pacers, they were at the top. But right now, the cricket which India is playing and what they have done in Australia, they have made the history. So was it the backfire of the MRF Academy?
Well, not for me. I haven't had too much influence on any of the bowlers, fast bowlers in the Indian team at the moment. But that's why it was set up back in the 80s with Dennis Lilly and Ravi Maman. So it was to find express bowlers, and there's been quite a few young bowlers go through the MRF Pace Foundation to go on and represent India. I attended the MRF Pace Foundation back in 1992. I was lucky enough to represent my country. So it has had a major impact, and sort of moving forward we're still producing good young cricketers with Khalil Ahmed, who's in the T20 one-day team. In respects to the Indian team, I did see Jasprit Bumrah only for a week, and I take no credit. I think what he's done since I saw him, he's an exceptional bowler. So India are very lucky with the bowling attack they have. There's quality bowlers there, and so it's looking good for the future of Indian cricket.
And Glenn, what about the recent edition? That was also from the MRF Foundation, the Khalil Ahmed, who have joined the team in Australia.
Yeah.
It's one of the recent additions from the MRF Academy. And how you were seeing them, these guys over there, Khalil over there?
Yeah, no, he's a young fellow. He's got plenty of energy. He just loves the game. He wants to learn as much as he can, and I was really proud that he went on to represent India in the shorter version of the game. And he's still got. I've been impressed with the way he's bowled. T20 is a tough form of the sport, or form of cricket for the fast bowlers, but he's learnt a lot. And I've been very impressed. Left armour, swings the ball, can get the ball through reasonably well. He thinks very well about the game. So I think he's got a big career in front of him too. And there's a couple of other young bowlers coming through that I think can go on and do well too.
And when we were seeing that team under the Tim Payne was struggling after the ouster of David Warner and Stephen Smith. But now I think the time has come that they are ready to join in the Pakistan series. I think from the third match onwards, if the selectors selected them, Warner and Steve Smith both will be ready to join the Australian team. So what are you seeing the impact of Warner in the pre-preparations for the World Cup 2019 and where you are seeing the Australian squad, the balance of the Australian squad?
You know, I think if you take the two best batsmen out of any team, it has a major impact. There's no doubt about that. You know, once they're banned, they've served their time. I dare say they'll be selected back into the squad, into the team, and hopefully have a positive impact. You know, Steve Smith's a quality player. You know, Dave Warner, aggressive. You know, very good player as well. So I think they can have an impact. See how it all works. It's been a tough 12 months for both those players, but you know, they have served their time, and now it's time to look for the future and just get back and play some good cricket.
And what are the Glenn McGrath's last four for the World Cup 2019?
Yeah,
Tough question.
It is tough. I'd like to see Australia there. I think they've got to improve a bit. To me, the top two teams at the moment are India. Obviously, in the one days they play quality form of the game, quality brand of cricket. England, are very good. They're a very good one-day team. I like the way they go about it, and that's tough for me to say, being an Australian. But England, home soil. I think they're probably the two top teams at the moment. We've seen Ricky Ponting get added to the coaching staff for the Australian team, and he's very confident that the Australians can do well. So fingers crossed they can make the final four, and then who's going to make that other spot. So Pakistan playing some good cricket. West Indies, you just never rule out in the shorter version of the game. The way they've been playing against England in the Test series is quite remarkable. And then you've got Sri Lanka, you've got South Africa. Sri Lanka's win against South Africa in the Test just recently. So you just never know. I think it's good to see some of these teams winning away from home. But Test cricket and one-day cricket, totally different. World Cup is a very special tournament.
And Glenn, you are here in the North America and the Toronto region. So recently we are done with a G220 series, where we have seen the blitz of David Warner, Ben McDermott, the younger McDermott we have seen, we have seen Steve Smith, and a lot of other Australians were there. So you were not the part of the 20 team or the coaching side. Tom Moody we have seen with one of the franchise. Which of the franchise? Montreal Tigers. Yes, Montreal Tigers he was representing. So when we are seeing Glenn McGrath, it's one of the franchises.
It's funny, coaching was something I thought I'd never do, but I must say I am enjoying my work with the MRF Pace Foundation, and I think that's probably more what I want to do, more a little specific, probably more for fast bowling. Coaching a team is probably not my forte. I did a little bit with the Australia A team last year, doing my level 3, and I'm not sure it's me. So I think in short, intensive stints, come in, work with the team, work with the bowlers, could have some potential, but in respects to coaching a team, it's not what I want to do. And plus, my MRF commitments stop me from coaching IPL style teams anyway. So anyway, that's where I'm at. Coaching a team is not something I want to do. Yep. Obviously here for the to open Phat Sportsplex. I think it's a state-of-the-art sporting facility. There's no doubt about it. Just having a look coming through and talking to the locals, there's not too much of this quality around. And I haven't spent a huge amount of time in Canada. This is my first trip to Toronto. During the winter, there's not much chance of getting outdoors, is there? And it's been quite fresh, but to have a state-of-the-art facility like this and allow people to come in during the winter months and train, that's what it's about. I grew up in Australia where I played all different sports, and we had indoor facilities for basketball, volleyball, indoor cricket, things like that. And that had a big impact on me as a young cricketer coming through, or a young sportsman coming through. So to have the opportunity to come here and open this facility is a nice honour.
And when you step into here, what was your first reaction? What was the first thought that was running through your mind to see this facility?
Yeah, I'm always keen to have a look at where the bowlers can run in from, and just I know they've got different sort of mattings and that, so the pitches are quicker, they might turn. So just get the whole feel for the facility. So see how we go. Might roll the arm over a bit later, but I think it's a quality facility.
Dan, thank you so much for coming here, coming to Canada, learning mates all over the place. Different formats of cricket is being going on in different parts of the world.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for taking this initiative for coming to Canada. Also, my question is regarding the Pakistan this TV channel, which is basically Pakistani channel. One, as you mentioned, coaching is not your piece of cake now. Or
coaching a team.
But certain cricketers like yourself, superstars, have graduated into politics. Imran Khan is one case, becoming Prime Minister of Pakistan. Your thoughts on that? And also, what is your thoughts on the upcoming series against Pakistan? Where does Australia stand?
Obviously that was something Imran wanted to do. Politics is not something I want to get into. I have been offered quite a few seats back home, and through my work with the McGrath Foundation, I do deal a lot with the politicians and down in Canberra. But it's not not a world that I can see myself in. So it depends on the individual. Sport, I think, is it's a medium that crosses all boundaries, and that's what I love about the game. And whether you can then go on and make a difference. Obviously, Imran wanted to make a difference within his country. I chose a slightly different path with, having the McGrath Foundation. A lot of other cricketers give back in their own way. So I just think cricket's, just crosses all boundaries, and that's why people love it so much, and sport in general. So we're very lucky with what we've done in our careers and travelled the world and been paid well for it. I think we have a certain responsibility to also give back. And upcoming series, I think Australia are starting to find a little bit of form. Pakistan are always dangerous, but hopefully we'll see a good series, and hopefully the Australians can play well.
आइए आपको लेकर चलते हैं हम मेन इवेंट की जानिब और देखें कि वहाँ पर ग्लेन मैकग्रा जो हैं वो क्या बात कर रहे हैं.
Ladies and gentlemen, a living legend in the game of cricket, we are truly honored by his humble presence and willingness to promote cricket in Canada. I would like to welcome one of the tallest men in the room and one of the greatest bowlers in the history of the game, Mr. Glenn McGrath.
Well, thank you for that welcome. Thank you for those words, Raza. It's nice. Sometimes people do mention my batting as well, but it's never in a positive vein. So, but thank you for that welcome. Also to Abdul, to Rafa, should I say? Sorry, Rafa. Hassan, a huge thank you for the invitation along here. To be involved in the opening of the Phat Sportsplex. I think it's an incredible state-of-the-art facility, and it's good to see new facilities popping up. I know cricket's not huge here in Canada, but it's growing. At one stage it was a national sport, but that was a little over 100 years ago. Yeah. So it'd be nice to get it back up to where it belongs, but it's all about our youth and promoting this great game of ours, and promoting all sports for that matter. I remember growing up, I grew up in a small country town in Australia, and I loved sport from a young age. I started playing tennis when I was 7. Played a little bit of representative tennis. Then as I went through school, I played a bit of golf and I played basketball, quite a bit of representative basketball, but my passion was always cricket. Up until the age of 19, I just played in a small country town, and I got an opportunity to move to Sydney and give cricket a go. And I was ready for a change. I moved down to Sydney, and within 4 years I was playing for Australia, and it was amazing the opportunity that I received. I then went to, between moving down and playing for Australia, I went to the Australian Cricket Academy, where I learned what it meant to be a professional cricketer. And actually one of the guys that went through the academy with me was a guy called John Davison. And John played for Canada. I think he had, or maybe still have, the fastest 100 in a World Cup. And just the opportunities that I had throughout my life because of cricket. I feel a very lucky person. I've got to travel the world, play an amazing sport, do something I love. And I must say I loved every minute of representing my country, getting out there, bowling against the batsmen who are classed the best in the world. Your Brian Lara's, your Sachin Tendulkar's, those guys. I loved every minute of it. Though from the moment I retired, I haven't missed it, which means I retired at the right time. But as I said, I feel very lucky. I feel now I've got something to offer back, a certain sense of responsibility. So I'm doing a bit of coaching, a bit of commentating, and just promoting this great game of ours to young people coming through, and just the possibility it offers. And without those I think state-of-the-art facilities like this, we couldn't offer this to our youngsters coming through, and who knows, they could go on and represent their country, whether it's in cricket, whether it's sport or something else. So let me say congratulations again to Rafa, to Hassan, for an amazing facility here. I do apologise about those first few balls I bowled. It's a little bit tough in a jacket. It's been a while since I rolled my arm over, but you guys should feel very proud of the facility you have here. I think it's going to, like you said, Raza, get kids off the screens, get them fit and healthy and active and playing sport. Being involved in a team sport at a young age helps their development, especially when they finish school and move into the workforce. So there's so many possibilities here. So again, congratulations for what you have here. Thank you for the opportunity to come over here. This is around about my 3rd or 4th trip to Canada, but my first time to Toronto. A little bit colder than I thought it might be, but I do have my big jacket in the car, so it's been good, and I'd love to bring my family back here and see what Toronto has to offer. So again, thank you very much for making me feel welcome, and thank you for the invitation, and good luck with everything you do here.
Folks, now we will start a brief question and answer session with Glenn, and from there we'll move into some picture taking. We'll get everybody a chance to get a photo with Glenn. Before we start off, I think it's important to note, I myself, obviously I play a lot of cricket. A lot of us folks here in the room, we play cricket, or there's some young athletes in the room that aspire to play cricket. Learning from individuals like Glenn with all that experience is obviously important. That's something I look to do and I've always looked to do. And that's how we learn the game and we grow and we become better players. But also advice that can help us in life. I think sports teaches us all a lot, and there's a lot to learn. So we'll be diving into a couple of questions that we've prepared from a couple that we received, and then we'll also open it up to the floor. If any of you guys have questions to ask Glenn, we'll handpick a couple of them, and from there we'll move right into the pictures. So the first question to Glenn, one of the most obvious, as a fast bowler you were one of the most consistent and successful. What were some of the things that you did that led to your success?
I guess there was a few things, and I was lucky enough to be in the Australian team for 14 years, and it was an amazing era of Australian cricket. Got to play with some incredible players at the other end. Shane Warne, bowling with Shane Warne, those guys, Steve Waugh, Ricky Ponting, Matty Hayden, Adam Gilchrist. So there were some incredible players, but I retired after the World Cup in 2007, so that's nearly 12 years ago. It's amazing how quickly time goes, but it's given me a little bit of time to reflect on, I think, what held me in good stead throughout my career. The first one is self-belief. I always believed I was good enough. I grew up in a small country town, 3,000 people. When I got, my captain of the under-16 team thought I couldn't bowl. He wouldn't give me a chance. He'd even give the wicketkeeper a bowl before I got an opportunity. He was a little older than me, so when he was too old to play under 16, so I started to get a little bit more of an opportunity. Played my first representative game when I was 17. And then when I got asked to move to Sydney, a lot of people in Narromine told me I was only just good enough to play there. I was never going to make it in Sydney. So I always had that self-belief I was good enough. The second thing was I was prepared to work as hard as I could to achieve what I wanted. And I think growing up on a farm instills a pretty good work ethic in you from a young age. The third thing was I was always looking to improve. I was never satisfied. I was always trying to bowl what I classed the perfect game, where every ball went exactly where I wanted it to. So I was always looking to improve my bowling, slower balls, different deliveries. Probably should have done a little bit more work on my batting, but you could never get the batsman out of the nets to have a decent hit. But I was always looking to improve. And the fourth thing, and probably the most important, is to have fun. If you have a real love, real passion for what you do, I think that goes a long way to helping you be successful. So they're the four things. Believe in yourself, be prepared to work as hard as you can, always look to improve, and enjoy every minute. If you've got those four things, I think you'll be successful in whatever you choose to do, and they help me in good stead throughout my career.
I think that covers everything. I'm not sure I have any more questions. But on the note of your batting, I think there was something that I did, and obviously we looked into a lot of your record and kind of a lot of the stuff that you did with the ball, and you really had nothing more to prove with the ball. But something that I noticed that you did, which not a lot of cricketers do today, as they approach the end of their careers, you notice a bit of a slump in some of their performance. Obviously, their fitness, their ability on the field. But what Glenn was able to do was increase his batting average, and also was able to score his first Test 50, which was a significant milestone in his career. So, could you tell us a bit about how special that was for you, and what you did to achieve that?
Yeah, so not many batsmen halfway through their career can triple their batting average by the end of it. I went from 2 to 6, but anyway, we won't worry about that. But yeah, I was always looking to improve, as I said. You can always never be satisfied. For bowlers, if you just concentrate on your bowling, if it becomes out of that, choose who's going to play in the team or the next level up between you and another bowler, that can go on who's the better batsman, who's the better fieldsman. So always look to improve. And it was funny with when I scored that 50, I'd come back from an ankle operation, and to get myself used to bowling again, I used to go down to the nets at the SCG and just practice bowling twice a week, get the body used to bowling. And while I was there, I thought I might as well face the ball machine. So I went from facing probably 500 balls a year to 500 balls a week. And it's amazing, my first innings after spending 7 or 8 weeks doing that, I scored my first Test match 50, and it was interesting because there was another thing. I used to have routines before a match. And I remember that game, it was up at the Gabba, up in Brisbane. And I used to get up an hour and a half before the bus left for the ground. I'd go down to the pool, swim, stretch half hour, back to my room, shower, pack half hour, down to breakfast half an hour. That was my pre-match routine every game I played. And I guess in a sense, it just told myself it's match day, get yourself up, get yourself ready. I'm normally down the pool with maybe one of my other fast bowling teammates. The batsmen, well, they're still asleep. Batsmen are pretty lazy. So. Anyway, and Shane Warne. Well, Warney'd get on the bus 2 seconds before it left, looked like he just combed his hair with a balloon. So I'm not sure what he was doing. But so this day I'm down in the pool, 3 of my teammates decide to get up. Jason Gillespie, fellow fast bowler, and 2 batsmen decide to get up early, in Adam Gilchrist and Michael Clark. So there we are, we're swimming away, doing a few laps, doing some stretches, getting ourselves ready for the day. And over the wall flew 2 ducks, and these ducks landed in the pool with us. And if you know anything about cricket, you don't associate ducks in any way, shape or form, do you? I know batsmen that can't even watch ducks flying past a cricket ground. Matty Hayden wouldn't even let his kids have rubber duckies in the bath when they were kids. So you don't associate ducks in any way, shape or form. So we look at each other, we're trying to scare these things away, they wouldn't fly away. We think we're not going to score a run between the 4 of us. Off we go to the game. It's day 3, middle session. Adam Gilchrist just got out. We're 8 wickets down. So if another wicket falls, I'm in. So I'm in the change rooms, sitting there, I've got my creams on, I've got my pads, thigh guard, inside thigh guard, chest guard, arm guard. I'm happy to wear as much protection as possible. They put on a bit of a partnership, and finally the 9th wicket falls. So I'm in. So I stand up, grab my helmet, I put my helmet on, grab my bat, my gloves, I start heading out of the change rooms. I glance over at Adam Gilchrist, and Gilly's sitting there, he's changed clothes, he's sitting taping up his fingers. He's getting ready to go out in the field. I go, thanks for the vote of confidence, Gilly. I walk out of the change room. I pass the rest of my teammates coming in to get ready to go to the field, and I walk out in the field. And at the Gabba, you can look up and see the players' viewing area, big glass perspex structure right in the middle of the stand. Look up, not a single one of my teammates there. So I ask for centre, umpire gives me centre, I mark centre, I walk down the pitch, I'm tapping the pitch down. Not actually sure what I'm doing, but I've seen batsmen do it. So I'm trying to let this New Zealand team think that this bloke knows what he's doing. So I face up, I hit a couple in the middle, score a couple of runs, and I get to 11. And 11's my lucky number. And I got dropped twice in 2 balls. Jacob Oram was bowling, he bowled one down leg side, I went to turn it down to fine leg, came straight off the face. Brendan McCullum came across, got 2 hands to it and dropped it. Next ball, bouncer, I went for a pull shot, straight up in the air. Mark Richardson, opening batsman for New Zealand, underneath it, didn't even get a hand on it. So I had a little bit of luck, which you need to have every now and then. And then I started to score some runs. And the more runs I scored, the more my teammates came back to the viewing box. And I've seen a bit of footage that day because I hit some boundaries, even hit a 6. And every time I hit a boundary, the camera goes from me straight to the players' viewing box. And the thing I love the most are my teammates' faces. Big, massive smiles, but that look of total sheer disbelief is something I really enjoy. And as things went on, by the end of that day and early the next morning, Jason Gillespie and myself scored our maiden test 50s. Adam Gilchrist, Michael Clark both scored test 100s at innings. And I tell you, every time I went back to that hotel, I looked for those ducks, but they never came back. But I have no issues with ducks, which probably is the reason why I have most ducks by an Australian batsman. But I've dismissed, I think, about 104 batsmen for ducks, so I think that balances itself out. But so I think the thing to that story is that the 7-8 weeks leading up, I increased my batting, I trained harder, I practiced more, I worked on my batting, and the results showed. Steve Wall was my batting coach for a little bit, but he gave up on me. He said I was a natural left-handed batsman trying to bat right-handed, and that was my problem. So, but you've got to have a bit of fun too.
It's amazing to hear what goes on in the background. A lot of these stories, I think we all watch these games, we see what's going on, but very interesting to hear a bit of the backstory to that. So thank you for sharing. Moving right along here, so not only is Mr. Glenn McGrath an amazing athlete, an amazing cricketer, but he's also an amazing human being. Some of you might not be aware, but the Phat Sportsplex intends to donate 1% of our earnings to charitable causes. And Mr. Glenn McGrath has also taken on the initiative and established a foundation of his own. Glenn, if you could please share a little bit about your foundation and just tell us a little bit more about that.
My late wife and I set up the McGrath Foundation quite a few years back, and then through our experience and her experience of going through breast cancer, we realised there was a big shortage of breast care nurses and awareness in Australia, so we decided to try to do something about it. We set up the McGrath Foundation in 2005 with two very clear objectives. One was to raise awareness of breast cancer, but also in younger women, and the other one was to raise funds to place breast care nurses in hospitals and communities around Australia. Unfortunately, my late wife lost a battle in 2008, and at that time we had 4 nurses employed. As I sit here now, we have 131 nurses. Those nurses have supported more than 70,000 families, individuals going through breast cancer, and you know, hearing those numbers just blows me away. It's the support for the foundation's been absolutely incredible. If you see the SCG test every year, 11 years it's been going now. They call it the Sydney Pink Test, and you know, just to see both teams come out, support the foundation, you know, the sponsors, Cricket Australia, CG Trust, everyone involved, but to see the fans and the crowd coming in, everyone wearing pink, even big tough blokes wearing pink, you know you've created something pretty special, and so I feel very proud. But I do look at myself as a very lucky person. Sure, there's been some really tough times in my life, and it puts life in perspective, and you realise what's important, and it's the people in your life, your friends and your family. That's important. In that respect, I've been very lucky with the people I've had in my life. So the support for the foundation's achieving a lot. We still have a little way to go to cover the whole country, so that every family, every individual going through breast cancer has access to a breast care nurse where they live, and a totally free service. So that's something we're striving towards. I feel a certain responsibility to give back because I've been so lucky in what I've done through my life, and it's funny where life takes you. Cricket's given me a lot. I met my first wife playing cricket. I met my wife Sarah playing cricket. My children have been around cricket, so I'm here today because of cricket. So cricket's given me a lot. So for me to be able to give back to my community, I'm doing a bit of coaching now. It's quite something I'm really enjoying. I'm doing fast bowling coaching. I've learned a lot about the technical side of fast bowling. I wish I knew what I know now when I played. I could have fixed my action up, but you never stop learning. And it's funny, one other little thing that I've learned is never say never. When I retired from cricket, I was never going to coach or commentate. I'm coaching and I'm commentating. When my wife passed away, I was never going to meet anyone else, never going to get married again. And I've been lucky enough to meet someone else. I was never having any more children. I now have a little 3-year-old to go with my 19 and 17-year-old. So never say never. Though I never want to be happy or wealthy, so we'll see how that goes. But no, it is quite amazing to be able to give back. And I travel around Australia, and I've spoken to a lot of people that have dealt with our nurses, and they say the positive difference it's made in their lives is quite incredible. And I think that inspires me to keep going, to know what we're doing is making a huge difference. So fair enough, we're very lucky in what we can do on a day-to-day basis, and the fact that you guys are giving back and supporting people less fortunate, I think is a very positive thing to do. So congratulations, and thank you for the support.
Thanks so much again, Glenn. I think it's pretty clear what the message is here from some of these questions. Always believe. Always work hard. You can always better yourself in every aspect. And always remember, if you're fortunate enough to receive a platform, always look to give back. It's what we can do, and that's what the generation after us continues to do, and that cycle goes on. So that's the questions that I had, and I think we'll give the crowd a bit of a chance to ask Glenn a couple quick questions. So do we have anyone that would like to ask Glenn a question?
Oh, there's a few.
Sure, right in the front here.
G'day. Thank you. Yeah, when I said my goal was to bowl what I class a perfect game, it's where I bowl every ball exactly where I wanted it to. I got close in one day match where 59 out of the 60 deliveries went exactly where I wanted it to. So it's just about controlling what you can control. So I was just, as long as I'm bowling where I want to bowl, then depending on what the batsman does, then I can adjust or adapt. I remember one game where sometimes it just doesn't always work out. There was one game, I remember it because my son James was born on the 20th of January 2000, and it was the night before that, on the 19th. I was running in, we're playing Pakistan in a one-day match at the SCG, and I was bowling to Abdul Razak and Ijaz Ahmed as well, and after 5 overs I had the figures of 1 for 61. I thought I bowled pretty well. It went exactly where I wanted it to, but Razak just kept hitting me for boundaries, but I stuck to my game. I think I finished with the figures of 2 for 69 off 10, but I remember that game for a couple of reasons. One was because my son was born the next day, and 2 was because I bowled fairly well and I still went for 61 runs off 5 overs. So it just comes back to controlling what you can control, and if you're bowling the ball where you want to bowl it to, then you can bowl to a bowling plan. If it's not working, then you can adapt and adjust. If you can't bowl where you want it to, you've got no control, then it doesn't matter what bowling plan you have. So I just tried to, okay, this is my bowling plan. If it's not working, then I adapt it and I adjust it. So that's where having that control came into play. Yeah, so my inspiration growing up was a guy called Dennis Lillee. He was my favourite bowler. I still think he's one of the best bowlers of all time. He's one of the best bowling coaches of all time, and he was a guy that I always looked up to and admired, and wanted to be like him. I think the thing, I never had any coaching when I was younger, so my body just found the most natural way to bowl. I didn't try to model myself on anyone's bowling action, and the first coaching I ever had, I was 22 years of age, and it was from a guy called Dennis Lillee. So that probably helped my bowling, and then he just gave me some good tips that really helped my bowling. The fact I didn't have coaching till I was 22 probably didn't help my batting, but that was who I looked up to. You know, my hero growing up was Dennis Lillee, and when I played, the 2 batsmen I enjoyed bowling to the most was Sachin Tendulkar, Brian Lara, 2 amazing batsmen, and the 2 my favourite bowlers that I looked up to and admired when I played. One was Curtly Ambrose, he did it so easy and natural, and the other one was Wasim Akram. You know, Wasim is just, to me, one of the best bowlers in history. What he could do, left armour, swing it both ways, just power through the crease. He was the ultimate bowler. So they're the guys that I admired when I played, and Dennis Lillee was the guy I looked up to when I grew up.
Took over the ball as well, right?
Yeah, within the Australian team. There was a couple of guys. I think it's either Matty Hayden or Ricky Ponting. You know, Rick was a quality batsman. I thought he would have finished his career with the most Test runs by any batsman, but obviously Sachin put it out of reach, I think, of anyone. So it was Ricky, Matty Hayden. I bowled 4 times, played 4 matches against Matty Hayden. Got him out for a duck twice, and he scored hundreds the other 2 times. So he's one of the only batsmen that would have a bit, I guess you call it sledging, would sledge the bowler. Not many batsmen would say anything to bowlers because it only takes 1 ball and they can look pretty silly. So, but Haydos, when he's feeling a bit flat, and I remember one game we're playing Pakistan, and he was feeling a bit flat, he tried to get himself going, we were batting. So he walks outside and looks up and down the hallway and sees Shoaib Akhtar. So he starts yelling out at Shoaib, saying, he's rubbish, you're rubbish, I'm going to smash you everywhere, you're not that quick, and getting stuck into Shoaib. Shoaib didn't know what was happening. And then he started to fire up and came back and got Matty Hayden going, and he was in the fight, he was ready, and out he went and he scored runs. So he was an amazing batsman. I don't know if there was ever anyone I had wood on. I got Steve Waugh out a few times and he never scored many runs. And Adam Gilchrist, I got out plenty of times in the nets, coming around the wicket, just sort of bowling into off stump and just would leave him off the pitch and he'd nick it all the time. So I wouldn't say they're my bunnies, but they're the guys I enjoyed bowling to. There's been plenty of them, and I think when I went to school, and even up to the age of 20, probably 23 before I made the New South Wales team, I couldn't speak in front of anyone, couldn't speak in front of my class at school, but now I quite enjoy it. And the thing that's in the back of my mind is I've embarrassed myself in front of millions of people that many times. One more time's not going to make any difference. So I think 90% of the times I got out batting was embarrassing. I remember World Cup final '99. We played Pakistan at Lord's. Steve Waugh put me back to long off. The very next ball, Abdul Razak hit it straight to me. I didn't have to move. It came right here, and I didn't know whether to catch it this way or that way. And I went that way and I dropped it. And Stephen wasn't very happy. But he got out next over, and unfortunately for Pakistan, we won that game quite convincingly. So that was one moment. There was one time in England where playing a cold day, I bowled an over, not very happy, walked back to fine leg, put my jumper on, and I put it on backwards. And I ripped it off really quickly, hoping no one saw me. But the rest of my teammates saw me. So the next time I was running in the bowl, everyone from the keeper to the slips to gully to point all had their jumper on backwards. So, and off the field, plenty of times, I told my manager, I'm happy to do anything, but if I have to sing or dance, he's fired on the spot. And he rings every year saying that Dancing with the Stars would like me to go on. So, and I yet to take up that because I don't want to embarrass myself in front of millions of people again. But that's all fun. Got to get out there and have a go. No, I think what Imran's done is very impressive, to get into politics and then go on to be Prime Minister. I've been offered quite a few seats in Australia, and it's not something I want to do. I have quite a bit to do with the government back home in Australia through my foundation. So I spend quite a bit of time in Canberra, and I sit in the Prime Minister's office, and I look around. I think it'd be pretty cool to be the Prime Minister of Australia, wouldn't it? And the more I think about it, the less I think it'd be good. It's a tough job. I'm more than happy to give back to my country in other ways. Obviously, Imran wants to give back and in different ways with being Prime Minister, but yes, no, there is no way I'm running for politics. I'm very happy doing what I'm doing. No, that time it is never. Well, hopefully it can continue to grow. There's a lot of T20 style tournaments popping up around the world, and the fact that there's one here, I think is great. Hopefully it can attract some overseas players, but also young cricketers coming through. I think last time there was not a huge amount of local players playing in it. I think we need to have a lot more local players playing with some overseas players. I think that'll make a huge difference, and when you can get those players there, inspire young kids to come up and play, both boys and girls, then you're on a winner. And the thing I like the most about those style tournaments, I was lucky enough to play in the IPL for 2 years. All of a sudden, you're playing alongside guys you only ever played against. and I really enjoyed that. Just to see how different guys prepare, what they're thinking, how they go about their business. And the one thing I've noticed, that it doesn't matter if you're from Australia, from Pakistan, India, England, South Africa, Canada, everyone has the same passion for cricket. They prepare very similar, and we're not all that different. And that's the thing that I really enjoyed, getting to know guys I only ever played against. And I guess, I don't know if it's a downside, when you're bowling to a batsman who you don't like, you can sort of really dislike him or hate him, but once you get to know him, it's lost that edge. So, but you can still have some competitive battles, and some of the toughest battles I've played have been against teammates. So I think that style of cricket has a real, I think it's great for the game, and hopefully continue to bring young cricketers through. So fingers crossed in years to come, that tournament will grow and get better. Oh, whatever. Yeah. Some days you feel good, other days you feel bad. I worked out fairly quickly in my career why I had a good day and why I had a bad day. And if you know why both of those happen, then you can normally turn your bad days into better days. And for me, bowling, my good days just was so easy, running in, you're relaxed. All I was thinking about was where I wanted to bowl the ball. Visualising it going through to the keeper, landing exactly where I wanted it to. My bad days, I was thinking about how I was going to bowl the ball. Thinking front arm, follow through, not worrying about the other end. So as soon as I realised that, I just thought, okay, concentrate on that, and things turned around. Getting up in the morning, I just think, well, I haven't forgotten how to bowl. Routines were very important to me. That allowed me just to get back into things. And it's funny, some of the bad days when I've woken up, I've had to work really hard. And other days I've woken up and I've just known something special was going to happen. And both those days I took 8 wickets in a test match, in an innings. So shame I didn't have more of those days, but the tough days, harder days getting up, that's when you've got to work harder, but you get more out of it. And I never looked at making a mistake. I never thought it was a mistake unless you made it 2 or 3 times. The way I learnt the most about myself, about my game, is when I made mistakes or when I had a bad game. I analysed what went wrong, what I could do differently, and then put that in place next time. So it's just about getting to know yourself and coaching. The 2 things I try to pass on to the young cricketers I work with. One is to get to know yourself really well, how you work at your best. Get to know yourself really well. Also, like who you are. If you've got both those 2 things, you're well on your way to going pretty well. They're both pretty special things. And since I retired, Mitchell Starc went on and got player of the tournament in the last one. So good to see bowlers getting selected every now and then too. But they're tough to split them. To win a World Cup is pretty special. To win 3 is amazing. To lose to England is as bad as it gets. So to regain the Ashes after losing that was pretty special. So hard to separate that. I think most of the things I remember and enjoy the most were team goals or team victories, and I think that's pretty special. To be out in the middle with 10 other teammates plus the support staff and guys off the field, you're not out there by yourself. And I think that's the great thing about team sports, how you work together and how you achieve as a team rather as an individual. And I speak to a lot of golfers and a lot of tennis players. When they have the chance to play the Ryder Cup and the Davis Cup, they love it because they're part of a team rather than just travelling around by themselves. So to me, the team always came first, and the team victories were and highlights were more important than the individual ones and the personal ones, though the personal ones were quite nice as well. It was an amazing game, that one. 99 World Cup semi-final, and There's only been twice in my career that I've been nervous. That was one of them. The other one was batting with Shane Warne when he was in the 90s. If I got out on it, he'd never talk to me again. So, but that was an amazing game. I bowled the over before, and I picked up, I bowled Mark Boucher, and then there was a run out as well. And the second last ball, Lance Klusener hit it low full toss straight to Paul Rifle on the fence. If he caught that, game over. But it bounced off his hands, went over the fence for 6. He got a single off the last ball, and then they needed 8 runs to tie, 9 to win. Damien Fleming was bowling. He came around the wicket, and he was trying to bowl full and wide, and he got it slightly wrong, and Lance Klusener hit it that hard that it hit the fence before anyone knew what had happened. So then he tried it again around the wicket. Same result. This time Lance hit it straight down a long off. Mark Waugh was fielding on the boundary, only 4 or 5 metres away, had no chance of getting the ball. Hit it that hard. So the scores are tied. So everyone comes in. So Damien Fleming decides coming around the wicket's not working, so he goes over the wicket and bowls it into the pitch a bit more. Lance hits it to mid-on where Darren Lehman's fielding. And Darren Lehman runs in, picks the ball up. Alan Donald, who's at the non-striker's end, is about 2 metres out of his crease, and Darren's only 2 metres away. He has a shot at the stumps. He says he missed by 3 metres. It was a terrible throw. And if he hit the stumps, Donald would have been out. And we thought, oh, we might have missed our opportunity there. Then next ball, again, Damien Fleming bowls it into the pitch. Klusener hits it down to mid-off where Mark Waugh's fielding, and he just runs for some reason. Alan Donald, he's not leaving his crease because he nearly got run out before, and he runs. And Mark Waugh picks it up, sort of backhands it at the stumps, misses, and Damien Fleming picks it up in his follow-through. Klusener's just run past him. Alan Donald's standing beside him, and the bat's on the ground. Damien Fleming turns around, and he thinks if he throws it, he'll throw it over Gilly's head or something silly. And 2 nights before, we'd been 10-pin bowling, and he remembers that, so he bowls the ball along the ground, and by this stage, all 9 other fieldsmen are in around Adam Gilchrist as the ball slowly trickles down the pitch. Klusener's halfway off the ground. Donald's still at the non-strikers, and Gilly picks it up, takes the bails off, and it's a tie. And it was an absolutely amazing game, and because we won the match against them the game before, we go through to the finals. So that was an incredible game. Game plan went out the window, and we just trusted what Damien Fleming was going to do, and we got away with it. Yeah, I think so. I think if you're a good or a great player in any era, you would have done just as well in another era. So, yeah, I think pitches that they're playing on now are a little different. The game itself is different because of T20 coming in, different intensity they play at these days. The boundaries are shorter, so it's getting tougher for the bowlers. But the bowler has to learn new tricks and different slower balls, what have you. You know, the reverse sweep and the little lap shot is just normal shots now. You see it in a test match, someone playing a reverse sweep, whereas you wouldn't see that when I was playing. So I think the game's changed a little bit. I think there's still quality bowlers out there. You know, Jimmy Anderson's an amazing bowler, Dale Steyn, Mitchell Starc when he gets it right, Pat Cummins. You know, there's still quality fast bowlers out there, quality spinners. So, yeah, I think the guys like, you know, Phat, if Phat played in any other era, I think he would have done well, as with the other guys. So, yeah, it's always good to remember the good old days. Yeah, I was lucky enough to play in an incredible team. And then some of the opposition teams had amazing players as well, so you always remember them fondly. And I think in another 20 years you'll probably look back at Phat, at Steve Smith, at A.B. de Villiers, at, you know, all the bowlers, Jimmy Anderson, Dale Steyn, and think they were pretty quality as well.
that was the main event we covered with Glenn McGrath. We are here at Phat Sportsplex 1 और आपने देखा कि कितना खूबसूरती से सारा इवेंट हुआ, किस तरह ग्रैंड ओपनिंग हुई, हमने किस तरह से आपको दिखाया कि क्वेश्चन आंसर स्पेशली ग्लेन मैकग्राथ किस तरह से कम्युनिटी के साथ घुल मिल गए और कैसे उन्होंने क्वेश्चन आंसर्स किए, लोगों का सवालात के जवाबात दिए और इट वाज अ ग्रेट फन फॉर मी। और जैसा भी आपने देखा होगा नेट्स वगैरह आपने देख लिए होंगे कि बहुत ही खूबसूरत है, यहाँ पर लाइटिंग का बहुत अच्छा अरेंजमेंट हुआ है एंड आई होप कि यहाँ पर और से ज़्यादा लोग आएँ और यहाँ ज्वाइन करें, आके खेलें। बच्चों के लिए फ़न के लिए बहुत अच्छा है, यहाँ पर बर्थडेज़ आप सेलिब्रेट कर सकते हैं। और बस मैं क्या कह सकती हूँ, दैट वाज इट फ्रॉम मैच पॉइंट। अभी ग्लेन मैकग्राथ जो है वो यहाँ से गुजरे। पहले मैं आपको ये दिखाना चाह रही हूँ कि ये पिक्चर जो थी उनकी बिल्कुल खाली थी, अभी राइट नाउ उन्होंने इस पिक्चर पे साइन किए हैं और आप देख सकते हैं बिल्कुल क्लियरली कि किस कदर खूबसूरती से उन्होंने स्माइल करते हुए यहाँ पर साइन किए अपनी ही पिक्चर पे। एंड व्हाट अ लेजेंड ऑफ क्रिकेट। तो दैट्स इट, मुझे यहाँ से अब इजाज़त दीजिए, लेकिन दैट वाज लाइक माई प्रॉमिस कि नेक्स्ट एपिसोड आप डॉक्टर अदनान के साथ डेफिनेटली देखेंगे। मैच पॉइंट उनके बगैर आज थोड़ा सा अधूरा रहा, लेकिन आई प्रॉमिस next episode Dr. Adnan will be right with me, or you will surely see him in Match Point. Take care till then. Allah Hafiz.
Been largely responsible for it over the last
The first World Cup, that is Australia's joy and England.